Hey guys, today I am going to be working on my 1982 Camaro. Found out a while ago that my heater core was leaking. See down here, there's a kind of a stain, but so time to replace it. It's an 82. It's pretty amazing it made it this long without ever needing a replacement. So that's what I'm going to do today. For this job, you're mostly going to just need a ratchet to remove all the bolts and nuts, and then a new heater core. So I ordered the heater core online, Amazon. I think it was like 30 bucks. And then this is kind of a, hopefully not an all-day event. Hopefully it only takes maybe an hour or two. But the hard part is getting the old one out and then getting the new one back in. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Cool, so let's get started. First things first, we gotta get down in here, and then there's a few bolts we gotta take off to get this cover off, and that'll be what we're gonna do first. All right, so these first few little bolts are 7mm. That should be pretty easy to come out. Alright, so now that we got this piece off, there's a light bulb attached to it. This just twists, comes off, and then this whole thing can come out. You can see it's a little bit dirty in here. You can see all these wet spots on it from where the heater core was leaking. Now I gotta get to the cover for the heater core. So if you look in here, there's several little clips and pieces that are in the way. We've got this here, and then one here, and there's actually two up above, up here, that are going to be a little bit harder to get to. I may pull this plastic piece off to get to it. Alright, so I'm going to try and get these out real quick. Again, still 7mm. And actually, it looks like my heater core box is got a big crack in it. Not sure what that's from. Get that figured out. Alright, and these screws are different sizes, so try and keep your screws separated. Alright, and if I run into something a little bit harder, I'll bring you guys back in. Okay guys, I got that piece out. Not gonna lie, it appears mine had been removed once before, and that's why the plastic was broken. And they definitely never put this screw at the top here. It's like a super awkward spot to get back into. For you to get to that, it is gonna be a pain. You're gonna have to come up and reach all the way over, and then you're gonna need a little tiny ratchet. I don't know if you can actually get to it without removing all this. For my purposes today, I'm not gonna fix it. Either way, sorry for the rest of you who have to remove the entire dash to get into this thing. It's so sad. So there are a few more bolts that need to come out. There's one here and one here. Looks like there's two back here as well. Hopefully they're not too difficult to take out, but you can see the heater core right here. You can see all the green fluid right here from where it's been leaking. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and film this as I remove those. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. And like I said, there's There's a piece of metal right here. I went ahead and just bent it forward. It does look like it's just being held in by a couple of screws right here, so I gotta just removed it. I'll probably remove it and then bend it back before I put it back in. But that just gives me access to this screw back here. So I've got a really long extension piece for my ratchet. So I'm gonna get to it. And it's got a wobble head on it, so it makes it nice and easy. And there's definitely one more up here, so look at that one. Hopefully this one's good. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this piece of metal too while I'm at it. Yeah, the 2 bolts for that piece of metal are just right here underneath. Should be pretty easy to take out. And it's the same size as everything else has been so far, the 7mm. Yeah, those are just little tiny screws. And it gets out. Oh, there's a big one. Alright, so I got that piece of metal out. I got the 4th screw out from in here. And it should be ready to come out now. So I'm gonna try to get this thing out. Alright. So the plastic is attached to the heater core with some metal clips. See those right there. Now all I've got left to do is get the heater core out and then put the new one in. So before I do that, I'm going to just double check to make sure that this thing fits my new heater core. I don't want to go through all the trouble of trying to put it in and it be the wrong size. So I'm going to try that real quick. Here's the new heater core. Does appear to fit on it like a glove. I'll get the old heater core out. Alright, getting the heater core out is definitely a 2-person job. If you have a second person, it makes it a little easier because of the hoses on the other side of the wall. But if you don't, you just gotta kind of work it out. I'm gonna have to open the hood and see what's blocking me here. Might have to go get the wifey to help me get this thing out. Alright, so here's where the heater core comes out through the firewall. I just forgot that I had stuck some hose on here because I was running temporary heater core bypass so it wouldn't continue throwing fluid through my floor. Easy way to do that is you just get yourself a long hose that you can cut in half at some point when you're ready to reattach. That's what I did, and so it just completely bypasses the heater. And then that's one way to temporarily not worry about it, especially if it's summer. But if it's the winter, you might need your heater core depending on where you're at. So I just got to remove that little hose from there, and it should come out pretty easily. So I'll see you on the other side. Alright, so I removed the hose. Honestly, I gave it a little push from the other side. You can see it's already almost all the way out. So I'm just going to give a little tug and pull it out. And you can see on it, its whole corner here is all rusted out. That's, I'm guessing, where it leaked from. So cool, it's out, so now we just got to get the new one in. Be really careful as you're pulling it out. There's probably still fluid in it. I just dumped a bunch on myself, so. And then just be careful, you don't want to make a mess. And it's antifreeze, so it's not really a big deal. It's just make sure your cats aren't trying to drink it. All right, so let's go ahead and try and get the new one in. All right, I finally got it back in. A little frustrated. I couldn't get it in with this bracket on. Once I removed it, it fit in like a glove. The problem with this heater core is that it's had a slight lip around the front edge of it, which is different from the original. So it wasn't sitting as flush. As soon as I moved this bracket, it now fits nice and tight and right where it's supposed to be. It doesn't move around, so once I get all the screws in, I'm not too worried about it. I'll get the hoses attached. I don't expect it to be a real issue. It is frustrating when you take something apart and you can't put everything back in, but sometimes that's just how it goes with these older cars, especially with aftermarket parts. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get all these 4 screws back in, and then yeah, so fast forward you through that. Alright, I gotta get this piece of metal back in. Alright, so I got all those back in, and now it's time to put the big plastic cover back on. Like I said, it appears mine was broken before from whoever took it off last time, and then they didn't put the screw back in. I'm not going to put it back in either. I just don't see the effort being worth it, so. And I don't have that replacement screw right now anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and get this guy back on, and then get these screws back in here. So that one's in. I'm going to get this one back on. And honestly, it's a duct, so I'm probably just going to throw some duct tape on it so it doesn't. Actually, you know what? Before I put this back on, I'm going to throw some duct tape on both sides of it. That way, it doesn't just fall apart on me later. So I'm going to just pull this thing back out, and I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, so a little quick duct tape repair to get that piece back on. I'm just going to get this whole thing back in here. Screw it back on again. My recommendation to you before doing this project, don't do leg day. It's been a serious pain in the butt, literally. Alright. Alright, that guy's back in. Now we just gotta put the cover back on and then hook it up and we'll be good to go. So this guy, just make sure your
hook the light back through before you put it on. It's just a twist. Slides back into place. You can see all of that, but I'm just sliding it in. There's a little bit of padding in the back there. Make sure we get that on nice. Just slides into place. And should have at least 2 screws, not 3. Again, I think whoever did this before lost some screws. That should be something that goes right there. I think it's a little plastic clip. Alright, and there's nothing in the back that hooks up. It just sets. It just sets on this little plastic ledge right here, and then otherwise it just sits. It's all back in, and we just got to hook up the plastic hoses and then turn her on. We should be good to go. Engine's been sitting for about an hour, so it shouldn't be too hot now. It was only on for a minute anyways, so it should have never had time to get up our heat. So I'm gonna go ahead and gonna have to cut that bypass that I put in, and then attach the 2 new ends. Alright, like I said, here's the bypass that I did before. It's cold right now, so I know there's no hot water in there, so I should have no issues just giving it a little cut. I gave myself plenty of extra when I made this bypass. So when I head over here, I'm gonna measure to the point where I need to cut it, so about right here, and I'll just give it a cut. There's gonna be fluid in there, so I'm gonna try and not make too much of a mess. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with this side. I've got probably about 6 to 8 inches that I'm gonna cut out. So I'll see you after I'm done doing that. All right, guys, just getting this last hose tightened down. And once this is done, we'll turn her back on, check for leaks. Just want to make sure this one's extra tight. I went with a slightly bigger hose on both sides. Well, it was the right size for the one side, slightly bigger for the other side, but that's okay. I'll just tighten it down until it's nice and tight, and I'll just make sure I can pull it off. Alright, so that's on there nice and tight. Pretty much running just how it was before. I'll get that clip on there, and then we'll start her up. Alright, she's on, she's running. A real quick check. Just squeeze these, they're both really taut. Before the car was on, they were really loose. It looks like we went down just a smidge, but it shouldn't have gone down much because not much fell out or came out when I swapped them out. So seems to be good to go. It does look like it's leaking, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off and tighten it down a little bit. Alright, it's as high as it can go. If it's still leaking, then we gotta get a different hose clamp. Alright, it doesn't look like it's actively leaking anymore. So I'm gonna call this job done. Alright, so it's all done. I'm going to go ahead and take it for a test drive and turn the heater on. I'll take you guys with me just so we can make sure it's all working and done right. And so I'll see you in the car. And one more thing I forgot to mention. Anytime you work on the radiator system, I find a spot where I can keep the front of the car kind of raised up, try and get as much fluid. You want to just make sure there's no more bubbles in the radiator system. because that can cause issues with heating. Fluid levels look good. I'm not seeing any bubbles. Go ahead and let it sit like this for a minute. Throw a little extra fluid in there and put the cap on. Alright, so it is a pretty warm day. But I'm going to go ahead and go test the heater. So I'm going to take her out for a little drive and then run the heater to make sure that we're good to go. Alright, I've got it running through the defroster right now, and warm air is coming through, so I would say that's a success. Heater cord definitely seems to be working. I'm going to finish going around the block and then we'll figure it out. Definitely seems like hot air is going through though. Alright guys, hope you found my video helpful. I know whenever I go to work on my cars, the videos I can find on YouTube, they're always hit and miss. So I thought I'd make this video just to help anyone else out who's going to be doing this project. It wasn't super hard. It took me a while because when I was going to put it back in, there was that issue with the clip that got in the way. So hopefully I explained that good enough. But if you like this video, please hit the like button. I'm going to try and do more videos like this anytime I work on my Jeep or my Camaro. I'm going to go ahead and record what I'm doing and then share my experience with you guys. Otherwise, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.